you're having a good day. I actually did not. Had a few instances today of kids being mean to each other and kids being incredibly mean to a teacher too. You know what, coming home and working on my trees in the evening really does bring me some peace sometimes, so I'm gonna work on this tree a little bit. This is the end of one of my clumps that it was actually the clump where the middle rotted out. I had this in a playlist and I have the old videos for it. I'll try to throw in a few pictures. This was one big clump at one point, and then the middle started rotting out, so I had to separate them. I did not get any pictures of when all that happened. I was able to salvage this one, and then a much bigger part of the clump that I still have in the original pot that the rotted piece was in. This is my front, and what I think of as the back. I mean, this side here does have more trunk showing, but this side kind of like looms at you a little more. I haven't done anything with this tree since September 3rd. I did wire it up at the time. I've been peaking a little bit, and I do believe the wire is cutting in pretty well. So I do want to just go ahead and prune it and take a look at what it looks like now, what that wire looks like. I'll probably take it off. And I figure I'll also give you a quick look at what this looked like back in September. This will be the beginning of the video before I start working on it. And then a quick look at what it looked like at the end of the video there. You can see it's grown quite a bit. Got beat up in the storm. I say it got beat up, it just got knocked over. Still in the same pot. The pot didn't get, noticeably chipped that I've seen. I mean, I get it's one of the pots I actually bought on clearance because it had a chip in it. But I didn't see any, major problems since then. All right, so as I get to work, this will wind up being what amounts to just basically a hard prune and defoliation. My vision for the tree is to have, a few lower branches with a little movement in them, and then work its way on up to a much tighter canopy. And you can see where these lower branches do not push as much growth as this isn't even quite the apex yet. There's quite a bit of growth there. It's really busy. But then here, the highest point, and of course also the easiest point for the sap to flow to from these two thicker trunks, is super busy there. The sister tree, or the bigger clump that I left in the original pot, I've actually been working on that, where I've just been pruning the apex and letting the bottom go and letting it get wide, like for banyan style. Alright, so just a couple little changes from my plan at first. I think I will leave the wire on. Really doesn't look like it's biting in too bad. And I think with a good spring Florida growth, I put the wire on September 3rd. But once it gets a good, spring burst here, it really should, go ahead and chew on in there. And then what I'll probably do is go in and take some of that superfluous growth out that I did not this time. I just let it grow for a while. But I'll take out a bunch of that extra growth, leave the ones I want to stay, take the wire off then. That'll be actually an excellent excuse for me to make a good video and everything. But the other thing I did decide on, if you look closely at the stump, this trunk is actually leaning over this one, and I feel like it should be a little more dominant than this one. And this, piece of the apex here, there's got to be at least 2 apexes with 2 trunks. But this piece of the apex is a little bit higher than it was over here, a lot more busy, and there's a big long, I say long, but there's a chunk there with nothing going on. And I think the idea was I left it because I was hoping it would grow enough to heal up that scar there. And it's got a little gap between the trunk and this chop here, if you will, where that'll be this foliage here that heals that, and this would just kind of continue to go. So I'm going to go ahead and just off with its head. There we go. And there's one branch there. And I actually do believe I'll get another little bud on top of that.